Well, this is what we've been waiting for. Through a tough winter, but it's here. Now we can smile and be happy because once again, it's opening day for the Chicago Cubs against the New York Mets. This is the 104th season that the Cubs have opened up in the National League. And, of course, the grand old man of telecast, one that holds a record in opening day ceremonies than any other sportscaster, telecaster in the world, is my guest. And that's the boss, Jack Brickhouse.
Well,
Old-timers cap and everything. He's ready to go.
Hey, you know, the Chicago Old-Timers gave me this, bless them, and I always open up the season with one of them. Anyway, no truth to the rumor that I was here for all 104 of them, Lou. I want the record to show that.
Yeah, I didn't make
But
that
everyone has its own excitement. Everyone is now. Forget all the rest of them. The one that's going on right now, that's the one that grabs you, boy.
No doubt about it. We're going to talk about the Chicago Cubs for 1979 with Jack Brickhouse right after this message. Three new men in the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs due to deals by Bob Kennedy during the fall season. That's Martin in center field, Sizemore at second, Foote behind the plate. Jack, evaluate that deal, evaluate the 1979 Cubs.
Well, of course, Lou, any evaluation I make is not based in a while. I let that get into it like anybody else, any other fan. But in my position, I come to an evaluation based upon my interviews with a lot of other people whose opinions I respect, such as long sessions this spring with Lou Boudreau.
Yeah.
And with Herman Franks and with other outside baseball men. I love to talk to those scouts. I love to talk to all kinds of scouts from all over who follow all those camps, and of course the coaches from the other team. And the consensus is that this is a great deal for the Chicago Cubs. You must be strong up the middle. Well, how much more can you come? How closer can you come to the middle? Barry Foote catching, Sizemore at second, Martin in center field. And you and I have watched Sizemore work with DeJesus down there, play after play after play all spring long, and we have been watching these guys really learn each other. And as a shortstop yourself, I almost said old shortstop, Lou.
Thanks, Zach.
As a shortstop yourself and a Hall of Fame shortstop, you know how vital it is to be able to work with that second baseman.
Yes, I've seen improvements with DeJesus in the middle man of a double play due to Sizemore's little techniques, knowing how he plays, how he throws the ball, what he does at second base. Very important. But the most important factor of the Cubs as to how high they can finish is that pitching department, Jack.
Right. All right. 46, by the way, is the temperature, and the wind is coming out of the west right now. It's going to be with the hitters today, Lou.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, it's got to be a pretty strong wind. We'll get the exact stats a little later on. Lou, I'm going to say something that is an absolute contrast to what a lot of people have been saying, including you. Even Herman has indicated that the big question mark this year is his pitching, and that he's feeling very confident about the hitting. I'm going to take just the opposite tack based upon last year. Now, you're going to say, what are you talking about? Here's a ball club with the highest earned run average, or the second highest earned run average of all the pitching stats at 4.05. Here's a ball club that led the league in hitting with a team average of 264, led the whole league. So how can you say that the hitting is the problem? I still respectfully suggest that the hitting is a problem based on last year. I saw last year too many cases, and you people out there who have been watching and listening to us know that you must have heard me harp game after game on when are we going to get a two-out base hit with somebody in scoring position. We can't come up with that two-out hit. Lou, no wonder some of those earned run averages were a little high, because those guys were not backed up.
You're absolutely right, Jack. That's a good evaluation of the pitching staff and of this ball club. We'll be right back after this message. That's it for today's Leadoff Man Show. You stay tuned for more baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Wrigley Field, our Chicago Cubs meet the New York Mets. And the Cubs are being introduced right now. Down there on the field, DeJesus, Sizemore, Buckner, Kingman, Mercer, Olivares, Jerry Martin, Barry Foote, and Rick Russell being introduced. And, of course, after that, the other members of the Chicago Cubs of 1979. Rick
Russell warming up down the left field side in the bullpen. Standing ovation. There's Joey Amalfitano. Cookie Rojas, who will be coaching at first. There you see Peanuts Lowry. And Mike Rourke, too. Now here are some of the other Cubs being introduced. There's Gene Clines, for example. That's Scott Thompson. Larry Bittner, remember the opening day home run he hit here last year? Beat the Pirates. There's Mike Vail. Number 30, Kenny Holtzman. He'll pitch Saturday. And that number 32 you see there right now is a brand new member of the Cub organization. That's Sam Mahias. And there's Ray Burris. Willie Hernandez. There's Mike Krukow. There's Lynn McLaughlin. Had a great spring. Will Suter. And there's Dennis Lamp. And there's Johnny Moore. There's Tony Garofalo, the trainer. First ball is going to be thrown out by Stan Hack. It's impossible to find anyone more appropriate. May we congratulate Cotton Boker and the ground crew on the superhuman job of getting this place in splendid playing conditions, all things considered. Buddy Fender, the famous country western star, is going to be the singer of our national anthem. The Arlington Heights Band is here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the rampart we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattling, bubbles bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The national anthem by Buddy Fender. And now the crowd, which has been waiting through a lot of snow for a long time, anticipating the first pitch on opening day 1979. And that first pitch will be thrown by a fellow who hit a lot of first pitches in his day as one of the great leadoff men in all of baseball, the former Chicago Cub third baseman Stan Heck. So the ceremonial throwing of that first pitch will be taking place in just a moment. 16 years with the ball club. He managed the Cubs for 4 years. Old Stosh himself, Stan Heck. One of the reasons we'll never forget him is because he was managing the Cubs when this reporter reported his very first no-hitter. That was the one by Sam Jones. I'd like to remind you this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission, or any other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. Okay, Stosh, you all wound up? There he is. All right, Stan. From Wrigley Field, Lee Mazzilli steps in. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It is the very, very first pitch of this ball game coming up. And the first pitch of the 1979 season. Lee Mazzilli, one of the outstanding young stars in the whole Met scheme of things. There's the first pitch. A fastball strike one and we're underway. New name in a Met uniform. This is Kelvin Chapman. Backhand shot from deep short by DeJesus. He's got him. Good play. That first one was pure DeJesus. Good grab, flagging down a tough one, headed for the hole. Fine arm, accurate, got his man. Hit 266, 8 homers, 42 RBIs. We'll also give you some of these spring averages a little later on, although they can be a little bit on the misleading side. There's the base hit. So here's a young fella who came up with a very, very good base hit in his first time up in a major league uniform. And now the batter is Richie Hebner. You may recall they just made a trade for Richie a few weeks ago. Turns the catcher. Richie Hebner, power hitter, is out. Base hit up the middle for Hebner. Runner on first, Chapman heading for third. No play. That'll bring up the catcher, John Stearns, 264 hitter, 15 homers, 73 runs batted in last year. Very, very tough, hard-nosed catcher. All 2 no strikes. Fly ball way out there to center field, way back. The wind's got this one. It's way back there. It is pulled in, however, by Jerry Martin. At the 400-foot mark, it'll bring in a run, but it looked like it wanted to go all the way, and there is a demonstration of a go-get-em center fielder. Went way back with that one. Good hawk out there. And making the catch right near the vines. That'll bring up first baseman Willie Montanez. Very good hitter, Willie Montanez. 256 hitter, 17 homers, 96 runs batted in. There goes the run. Strike 3. Montanez strikes out, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. A man left. We go to the Cubs. First at-bats of the year. Mets 1, Cubs nothing. The left fielder for the New York Mets is Steve Henderson. Center fielder, Lee Mazzilli. And in right field, we see Elliot Maddox, healthy, starting this year as opposed to last year when he was hurt. Richie Hebner at third, Doug Flynn at short, Kelvin Chapman at second, Willie Montanez at first, the pitcher Craig Swan, good lifetime against the Cubs, and the catcher is John Stearns. Here's Cookie Rojas coaching at first, and over at third is Joey Amalfitano. Now your first base umpire is Richard Cavanaugh. At second is Joe Pompani. Over at third is Joe Maher. And behind the plate up from the association is Lanny Harris. And DeJesus will open it. 278 hitter last year. Of the Mets' future, and he's still got a chance to do it. There's a drive, curving fast and dropping fast. Base hit down the right field side. He'll go for two. Here's the throw. It's going to be close. He is safe. This one again. Drops it just back to first base. Chasing it down there for the Mets, of course. Chapman, the second baseman, and he made a great effort here. He made that a close play. The fact that it bounced high, second baseman Sizemore. Now here's a case of where Sizemore's value to this ball club may not appear in the batting order. 18 hitter last year, and by this time it's pretty well publicized that he broke his hand in two places. There's a high pop-up out near second base, and it is picked off out there by Flynn. And now here comes Billy Buck. Cub batting order could be something. There's a ground ball to the right side, and Montanez makes the unassisted put out to Jesus taking third. Here's Kingman. Homers last year, 79 runs batted in. Ground ball back to third, backhand stop, long throw, it's going to be close, it's wide, the ball game tied up, the run comes in from third, that'll be a base hit for Kingman and an RBI. Hugging the line, good backhand stop by Richie. He had to hurry the throw, and it pulled Montanez off the bag, and the Cubs have tied it up. And now here's right fielder Bobby Mercer for Mercer. Wind blowing out at 25 to 40 miles an hour. Ground ball back to first, taken by Montanez. One-handed flag down, the unassisted put out. Retires the side. One run, two hits, no errors, a man left. At the end of one, it's 1-1. And of course, even though it's a 10-year period since it happened, the way the Mets overtook the Cubs. Homers and 39 RBIs. They look for a lot more than that out of him this year. Ball one. There's one to the right of second. Backhand flag down by Sizemore. The throw. Wow. Now they'll tell you that Sizemore does not have the range that Manny Trio had. 1-1. Ground ball rolling slowly. The grass floated up a little, but the play is in time. Doug Flynn is out. Mets are down in order. The sinker worked beautifully. 3 infield ground balls. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. This takes us now to the Cub half of number 2. Ontiveros will lead off. And Ontiveros signed multi-year contracts just before the ball game. And Jerry Martin signed a 1-year contract. So the sheep are in the fold now. And the Cubs can settle down and concentrate on the business of catching the Pirates and the Phillies. Pretty well hit. Very deep to right center. Way back there against the vines. There goes Ontiveros into second base. He's in there standing up. The operation was a success. So here's Jerry Martin, one of the key men, of course, in the big trade with the Phillies. The year before, in a full season, he had 32 extra base hits. That is 32 two-base hits. Here's a high foul ball. The wind may blow it fair. It does almost, and Stearns really had a job on his hands to make that catch. foot. Okay, let's talk about his hitting. Everybody else wants to, or the lack of it. Last year he hit 158 with 1 homer and 4 runs batted in, but the poor kid didn't get a chance to play. There's the first Herman shot of the year. There's Joe Torre. Still managed to keep the weight down. Rube Walker, the coach, alongside him. On the other hand, whom are you going to move out of the batting order in order to make room for him to step up there? Because all the other fellas you see in that batting order are there for a very good reason. Tied up game, 1-1. Strike, and Swan comes up with 2 strikeouts. And that took care of that double. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a man left at the end of 2. Score the ball game, Mets 1, Cubs 1. Ball game, we're in the Mets half of number 3. That's a strike, strike 1. Oh boy, what a pleasure it is to be able to say baseball at Wrigley Field on Channel 9. He got him. In 5 or 6 feet of snow. That's the thinnest I've ever seen Rick wrestle. Ground ball, right of second. Backhand shot by Sizemore, and picked out of the road by Buckner. And once again, the Cub defense has taken away a base hit. Chapman, the batter. The Cubs led the league in spring training games with a 14-9 record. The ball back to third. The throw. Ontivera sets his man. Oh man, it's good to see him throw like that, isn't it? Woo! Let's look at this one from the center field camera. These guys are really worked up today. All kinds of difficult chances in the first 3 innings, and they're handling every one of them. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go now to the Cub third. It's still Mets 1, Cubs 1. First. The battery, Swan and Stearns. Ground ball, deep short, gobbled up by Flynn. And that's out, number 1. That'll bring up Sizemore. Ball 1. High fly. It's foul. The wind may blow it into the playing field, and it does, and he winds up with a fair ball, and Sizemore almost did not get down to first base in time. He thought for sure he had hit a foul ball. Wind fooled everybody. That may be the last time this year you'll see Sizemore stand at the plate on one like that, because he's a hustling ball player, but he honestly had every right to think that ball was going to go in the seats. But look at this, a 25-mile-an-hour wind gusting up to 45 from the west, and it head, and he's not going to forget it for a while. That'll bring up the first baseman, Bill Buckner. Fly ball, left field, Henderson over, and the wind's playing tricks with it, but he hangs on. Ooh, boy. One of those days, huh? That's a very high fly ball. And Flynn backing up for it. In comes Mazzilli, and the wind takes that one away from him, and the Cubs have a run. With 2 outs, Sizemore was running. Because the dugouts are big enough to accommodate him now. Strike 1. Ground ball, dribbling down the first base side. Montanez simply has to pick it up and step in the back. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left, and so at the end of 3, the Chicago Cubs 2, the New York Mets 1. Very high pop-up. Now watch this one. There could be trouble with this one, too. Yep. The wind blew it back onto the playing field. Barry Foote just couldn't handle it. Now, Herman's claiming fan interference. 2-2. Outfield plenty deep. Ooh, look out. It's a tie ball game on that one. Say goodbye. Woo, boy, home run for Hebner. Richie Hebner really popped that one. John Stearns, the batter. Ball 1 to John. Tied up. That's a strike. He got it. Ball 1, strike 2. Chuck Cottier coaching at third, and Joe Pignatano out of the bullpen and now coaching at first for the Mets. Ground ball. Sizemore's there, and the little guy handles it. 2 out. Herman Franks and Joe Torre. Joe led the league in being tossed out last year. One of those real frustrating seasons. There it is. Russell sidearms him. A dribbler, and Swan tosses out on Taveras. A little different from his last appearance when he shot one in the gap to right center field. That'll bring up the center fielder, Jerry Martin. High pop-up. Once again, the wind is a problem, and it is juggled but finally held by Hebner, who took it right out of Doug Flynn's shirt pocket. And he was telling us about an opening day he remembers in that pennant year of 45. There's a high pop fly, short left center, and it's almost routine. But Andy hit 2 homers with the Cubs at Cincinnati off of Raffensperger to open that season, and they won the pennant. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 4, score of the ball game is the Mets 2, the Cubs 2.
April.
Right.
Park was cold and rainy.
Right.
And
right.
crazy.
I'm going to throw you at the trivia contest. That's a good one. The fellow who threw out the first ball today was the manager of the ball club, Stan Hack.
Stan Hack.
Yeah.
Where is his place anyhow? I went by it the other day. It's
Grand Detour.
That's right, Grand Detour.
Lou Boudreaux's here now, and we've got to put him to work because otherwise he gets lazy.
It's a home run. The pitch. Swing and a tap back to Russell. He has it. 2 outs.
For your pals from Harvey, huh?
Yes, indeed. They're walking around. No seats. They don't care. In fact, some of them probably won't even see the ball game. Even though Swan today, he now has a count of 3-2 on his pitching opponent, who's now batting Swan. Here's a swing and a base hit to right field by Swan. That's the 4th hit off Russell. That air with that wind, it's a home run, and it may be 1 run or more. Cubs 2, Mets 2. Top of the 5th inning. There goes Swan. Inside, ball 4. That is the first walk issued by Rick, and he was very careful with Mazzelli. The first inning, Chapman singled to center and scored the first Met run of the 1979 season on a sacrifice fly to center fielder Martin by Stearns. Now he's batting 2 outs, runners on first and second. As they are not paying any attention to Mazzelli at first. They want to get the 3rd out. So they don't want to be moving around in that infield. Swing and off the glove. A dive by Sizemore. He misses it. It's in center field. Here comes Swan around to score. And the rookie singles off of the glove of Russell. And the ball just eluded Sizemore on a great attempt to knock it down. It ends up in center field for a base hit. Watch this ball off of Russell's glove as he goes up, as he ducks, and it just gets past Sizemore at second base. It was hit that sharply through the middle of the diamond. So the Mets have taken a 3-2 lead on the rookie's first RBI. He led up and tosses his bat aside. So after Russell retired Maddox and Flynn, the pitcher started his own rally, under by Chapman. Hebner swings at the fly ball deep to right field. Busher going back. It's sinking. It's over his head against the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes Chapman around third. Here's a throw to second base, and Chapman scores on a double by ball off of Hebner's bat. Gets up into the air. The wind has it. It is sinking. But Mercer turns, goes back to the wall, and leaps. And the ball is just over his head. It looked as if he did not keep his eye on the ball as he leaped for that ball. In this inning, well, Russell has had the count of 3-2. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets turned. He's still upset on the call, but nevertheless he strikes out to close out the fifth inning with 3 runs, scoring on 3 hits. 1 man left on base. Cubs come to bat. Bottom of the fifth inning. Mets 5, Cubs 2. A helmet defensively to wear, and I have worn a helmet at times. Playing in hospitals and homes all over the country. Here's a swing, a fly ball deep to right center. The wind has it. Carrying it deep. Mazzelli going back. He reaches up and makes a one-handed catch, going away from the infield. On for 2 hits, 5 runs. 2 runs on 5 hits. Here's a swing, a line drive to left fielder. Henderson has it as he stumbles in that side out there, but he makes executives. There's a swing and a line drive off the Sizemore's bat for his second hit. And he made up for that pop-up that went over the third baseman's head for a single, and he remained at the plate thinking the ball might be foul. Well, let's see if the Cubs can rally with 2 outs. Sizemore with a lead off first. Montanez playing just behind him. Swinging a fly ball in the right field. Wind carries it, but not deep enough, as Maddox is there near the warning track and makes the catch for the out. Cubs 5th inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. At the end of 5 complete innings, it's 5-2 New York by Willie Montanez, who leads off the 6th inning for the New York Mets. It's New York 5, the Chicago Cubs 2. Swing, ground ball, Buckler to his right, has it, tosses it to Russell, covering first, beats Montanez very easily. Today, not only Russell, but Herman Franks and every other member. The pitch. There's a swing, a line drive right center. Mercer moving over to his right. He gloves it on the run. Fine play by Mercer. Here's Maddox at bat. Maddox is 0 for 2. Let up. There's 1 hit deep to left center. Way back, going. It's off the wall. Martin goes close to the wall, so the ball rebounds past him, but he retrieves it in time to hold Maddox to a double. A line drive that just missed the basket. Hit off Rick with 2 outs here in the 6th inning, and here's Flynn at bat. For the Mets in the 5th inning with a single to right after 2 are out. So now Herman playing percentages. Outside, ball 1 to Swan. High fly ball center field. Martin looking there. Now he has to go back. The wind has it. Carries it back, and he makes the catch. Man, oh man, he almost lost that one with that wind going directly over his head. Carried that ball, and Martin finally makes the catch to retire the Mets. There's the catch. No runs. 1 hit, 2 men left on base. Cubs come to bat. 6th inning. Mets 5, Cubs 2. Dave Kingman has an infield hit in the 1st inning, getting out a base hit behind 3rd, in left center. Henderson deep in left for Kingman. Swinging a line drive down the left field line, but it is a foul ball as it lands beyond the bullpen. He hits 1 high to center field. Wind carrying it deep. The right fielder going back. He leaps. It is gone. A home run. Kiss it goodbye as it lands in the basket in center field. So the 3-1 pitch results in Kingman's first 1979 home run. It now closes the lead 5-3 in favor of the Mets. Kingman, a single, a double, and a home run today. Not a typical Kingman home run, but he got all of it as he hit the center field, right center. The wind carries it back, and it lands into the basket. Got his first Major League home run against these same Mets. There's a high fly ball, short right field. Maddox is there calling for, still coming in, makes the catch for the out. High fly ball, right field. Maddox coming in, he slips, but he gets his balance in time to make the catch. Bad hops. Swing ground ball, third baseman Hebner has it. Straightens up, fires to Montanez. 3 outs. You're watching Cubs baseball on WGN Channel 9, Chicago. Into 6. Mets 5, Cubs 3.
Chicago Cubs 3 at 2 minutes after 3 in Chicago. First to battery, Russell and Foote. The plate umpire, Lanny Harris. Ground ball right up the middle. A smash through the box. Mazzilli is on again for the second time in a row. At-bats in his debut in the majors. One of them his first time up, which scored a run before it was over, and Brown to sing it. His beautiful bride, it'll be a hit. That's low. Runner taking off on it. The ball leaked out of Barry Foote-Smith, so that means now Mazzilli is on second. That gets away from Barry Foote. That goes all the way to the screen, and again, the base runner advances. That will be a wild pitch, too. There's a high pop foul. Barry Foote one-hands it. That took a little doing, as a lot of them have today. Hey, signaling for the right-hander. Walk Hebner, pitch to Stearns, set up the double play. Is that the idea, fellas? Hernandez started in. And now we're going to put Scott Thompson in right field in place of Mercer. All right, here's Willie Hernandez from several angles. Rick Russell, who 2 years ago in '77 became the first 20-game Cub winner in a long, long time. The way baseball goes. Foote, Hebner. There's a well-hit ball, left center field. It is caught and dropped by Kingman, and the runner scores, and the batter winds up on second. Kingman trying to make a dip glove knee-high catch. Chip. Ball 4 to Stearns. Fly ball, short center. Martin running very hard. Can't get to it. The runners had to hold up. There was always the chance that that ball would be caught. Consequently, well, which one up do you want, Herman? Burris or Moore? They're both throwing, and it looks like Donnie is going to get the call. 7th inning. He has abandoned that one. Fastball, left to second, through, base hit, 1 run is in. Here comes another one in. The Mets are turning it into a one-sided ball game. Stearns scores. Right behind Richie Hebner, and Willie Montanez winds up on third. Here it is. Just barely leaks through. That makes it now 8-3 Mets. Elliot Maddox, the batter. strike two. They have to get good wood on that ball to send it into the seats. There's a well-hit ball, right center. That'll be an extra base hit, maybe. He's going to try it. One run, and no! He takes a wide turn and goes back. The run comes in as Maddox scores a long single to right center field, bringing in Montanez, sending Henderson to third. Allowed to win their home opener after all that build-up and all that anticipation. Look at the squeeze work here. Safe at home. Doug Flynn laid down the squeeze bunt. Swan is up. Here's the replay. Well, Moore thought he had the plate block, thought he had his man. The plate umpire, Lenny Harris, says no. Throw to second. They could have him. The play at third. They've got him. The Cubs now may get a double play out of this. The runner on third tried to make it, and he's out. He's out. Now, what are the Mets hollering about? Pignatano is complaining. Maybe he missed him with the tag. Anyway, the Cubs have retired the side. The play goes 2-6-5-6. In other words, it goes from Foot to DeJesus to Olivares. Runs, however. 5 hits, no errors, nobody left. And we'll find out what the briefs are all about. What's the score? The Mets 10, the Cubs 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this inning is not over because the New York Mets complained of interference on the part of Sizemore while DeJesus is putting the tag on Flynn, and the umpires, after conferring, have reversed themselves, and the Cubs are forced to take the field again, and Swan is still at bat. So the lead out counts, but Flynn is allowed to take second base on the interference call. There's a strike. He got him. So they finally get the out. And in the inning, 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. And the score at the end of the Mets half of the 7th inning is the Mets 10, the Chicago Cubs 3, and it's 7th inning stretch time. And while the folks are getting set to take a nice long stretch for themselves, let's take a little look at the play again. Here's the throw to second. Now they've got the man at third. Here's Olivares. He fires back to DeJesus, and DeJesus puts it on Flynn. But prior to the time you saw that tag, Sizemore apparently had jostled Flynn, and the Mets bitterly complained, and the complaint was allowed. So the Cubs need the All-American rally. Ball 2, strike 2. There is strike 3 called, the very foot. This kind of a day, wouldn't be surprised if neither pitcher went past 6 innings. As it is, Russell did not, and Swan has hit .333 this spring. Well hit ball, left center, ball's in, base hit. That'll bring up DeJesus. Ground ball in the hole, base hit. Right between Hebner and Flynn. That puts men on first and second now with 1 away, and the batter is second baseman Ted Sizemore. No, it isn't either. Thought for a minute they were going to call him back. Ground ball, look out for 2 here. Over to second for 1. Here's the play relay by Chapman, and that is the old double play. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. A man left at the end of 7. Score the ball game. Mets 10, Cubs 3. Ball 1 now to Mazzilli, who start of the big 7th inning, and the Mets batted around after his single. 5 runs across. Look at this. Well hit, left center, way back there, and it has to be played as it sticks in the vines, but is visible. It was played off the wall by Martin, who just found out a little something about Wrigley Field. They don't always bounce back. And Chapman is up. Ground ball, deep short. The play will have to be at first base. Long throw, picked out of the dirt by Buckner. And Chapman is out, Mazzilli taking third. Matt on third, infield pulled in. There's a high pop-up, should be caught. Olivares standing on third. Had a foot on the bag when he made the catch, and just with one of those what have I got to lose gestures, put a tag on Mazzilli just in case his foot had been. That is out number 2, and the batter is the catcher, John Stern. Total for the year at $1,525,311. There's a check swing, fair ball, should be an out, and it is, and that retires the side as Stern grounds out unassisted to Bill Buckner. No runs, 1 hit, a leadoff double, no errors, and a man left. We go now to the Cub half of number 8. Shots are jiggling a little bit as the wind. There's a hot one, and it's trapped by Montanez, who hot dogs an out for 1 away in the 8th. Here's Kingman. Last time up, a basket home run. Ground ball, back at third, scooped up by Richie Hebner. The throw in plenty of time. So for the first time today, Kingman is retired. 2 out. Dramatic home run, remember it? Is now going to pinch hit. Ground ball, back to first, flagged down by Montanez. Throws to Swan, covering, and the Cubs are down in order in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 8, it is still the New York Mets 10, the Chicago Cubs 3. Because I feel certain that there was a little chance that he might not have been included in the 25 to come north. There's a put out when he's on. Line fly, right field, and it is grabbed out there by Cotton, who trotted in on the ball and realized that it was hit harder than he thought and made a good recovery. Well, 0-7-0. All the tickets have been sold to the place. And that's the turnstile count. There is a walk to Maddox. 2 out. That'll bring up the shortstop, Doug Flynn. Fair ball. And it's a put out. Berry foot to Bill Buckner, and that kills off the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, a man left. We go now to the bottom of the 9th. Score, Mets 10, Cubs 3. Olivares at bat in 1952. There's a tap to the right of the mound. He's got it, and that's out number 1. Terry Martin. Terry's 0 for 3. Some guy decided he wants to take a nap out there on the line in right field. And the security is going to help him. 2-1. There's a high fly ball, right field, way back there. It is a base hit. That'll be 2 bases for Jerry Martin. The catcher, Barry Foote, is up. Drive. Burned it in there. I'm up. There's another base hit for him. That should bring one in. Here comes Jerry Martin racing to the plate. No play on him. 11 hits for the Cubs and 4 runs now. Well hit, center field, base hit. Thompson makes the turn at second, goes to third, unchallenged. To Jesus. This afternoon. Fly ball beats the left center. Hey, that's well hit. That is off the line. Because McGilly slips and falls. 2 runs are in. Sizemore winds up on second base. Lee Mazzilli going back for that one. Slipped and fell when he got to the warning track. For just a hot minute, it looked like Sizemore might have put one in that basket. Well, we're getting a rookie pitcher here who's not listed on the program. Sizemore on second. And that wind is getting heavier all the time. Well, I remember talking to Salty Saltwall and Dennis Bayreuther of the Cubs Park Operations Department yesterday when we were out here. Cubs fans were really yelling it up. High fly, right field. Back goes Matt out near the vines. He's got it, and the ball game is over. The wind gave it a beautiful ride, but not quite beautiful enough. And so for the Chicago Cubs in that inning, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, a man left. Final score, New York 10, Chicago 6. I'll be back in a moment with a recap on the game.